Hey guys, Karl13 here, and today we're going to review Dragon Ball Xenoverse since the sequel will be coming in October 2016. It was developed by DIMS and published by NAMCO BANDAI, and they released it on several platforms last year including Steam, which I was so happy about. So if you didn't know DIMS, they were the creators of more Dragon Ball games like Dragon Ball Budokai series from PS2, and this is actually the first Dragon Ball they released which featured 3D battles. I wish we could get more fighting games in PC and also Japanese games which, well, are actually happening right now. Anyway, when I first heard of this game, I was really ecstatic to buy it without reading any reviews. Was I disappointed though? Well, not really. I love this game and also hate it at the same time. So without further ado, here are the good, the bad, and the grey of the game. If you are new in this channel, the grey is the neutral points of the game and the other two are self-explanatory. Let us start with the good points of the game. I love the fact that Xenoverse plot has taken a different direction than most Dragon Ball game we have ever seen. Most games just reenact all the saga while you play your favorite cast of Dragon Ball Z. In Xenoverse, you are the main hero. You play as the time patrol in the future, and yes, the story still revolves around the Dragon Ball several sagas, but you are the focal point of the story. You help them defeat the villains as they become more powerful than they were because of time interference from Towa and Mira and also the demon god Demigra. The graphics also look great, in my honest opinion. It stays true to its animal art style, and most of the character designs look really nice. Well, except Beerus, he is quite creepy here. Anyway, when you start your adventure, you're going to pick one of the 5 classes, which are Earthlings, Majin, Namekian, Saiyan, and Frieza's race. All of them have unique customizations and unique traits. Just like Earthlings are balanced while Saiyan is powerful, yet they have little HP. There's also customizations once you pick your character, but I will expand that later because that is not really a really good point of the game. Although it is really nice to have it, it visualizes your long-time dreams. Moving on, since there is customization here, then it's definitely bound to have RPG elements in the game. And yeah, good thing there is, because this makes your character unique in some extent. You can increase the attributes of his max HP, max ki, max stamina, basic attacks, supers, and others. Yes, it may be basic, but this is actually a good feature to have in the game. You get attributes by leveling up when you do the campaign or the parallel quests, which are, yeah, basically side quests. You can also buy special attacks and supers in the store. You can have both Goku's Kamehameha and Vegeta's Gallic Gan in your arsenal. And wow, that is really cool. There are several choices so you can become your ideal character. You can also use items in the middle of the fight to heal you or give you a slight advantage over the enemies. This is definitely a must since some missions are quite long. The soundtrack is awesome and I love all of it. I can listen to every single soundtrack all the time. It also has this nostalgia feeling that I used to get when watching Dragon Ball Z fights on YouTube. It is amazing, sound effects are mostly done right, you can feel the Dragon Ball vibe in it. I guess those are all the good things about Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Now let us talk about the bad points. First of all, my major disappointment regarding this game is its terrible combat system. I am not saying prior Dragon Ball games have a remarkable combat system, but this is one of the most tedious and irritating among the bunch. I mentioned it earlier that you can buy special attacks and supers. Yeah, those are pretty cool and a neat feature. However, the implementation in the combat system is really lacking and totally bad, even for a button smashing fighting game. The opponent AI does something like an invulnerable shield that hurts you just to stop your attacks, because once you create your combos, it is pretty hard to stop it. Still, it is very cheap to do that, and it is by far the most irritating way to stop your combo. Controls are very clunky at best, you cannot break out of your combos. Simplistic combo system, to be honest. Sometimes it is just a pain in the ass playing this game because of the controls alone. Another thing is, I did say I like the way you can choose skills and other specials here in the game, but the problem here is charging your own ki is one of those skills that you have to buy in the game. It means without it you have to fight the enemy to gain ki, and there is no other way to charge ki unless you buy it. And that is really mind-boggling decision by the developers, because most games have those already, because it's a norm. Everyone can charge ki, right? The missions are not that interesting as well, especially if you have this shitty combat system. Most objectives are either deal enough damage to this certain character then move to another location or defeat the enemy altogether. It was never amusing, particularly if the enemies have so much health just to prolong the damn mission. Oh yeah, there's another way to prolong the mission too. Like the game has to spawn several enemies at once just to try to gangbang you, and those are beyond annoying. AI is really bad, especially the co-op AI. He does not do jack shit to the enemies. They are so passive, and what infuriates me the most is that there are actual missions that require your co-op AI to stay alive. Yup, otherwise you would have to restart over again the whole mission. The fact that this game doesn't have any checkpoints for long missions would really frustrate you. Either that or two of your enemies are so overpowered, and without your co-op AI you cannot stand a chance at all because they're all focusing your attacks and they are like 100% better than the co-op AI. That is stupid. Xenoverse is trying to make the game look difficult by having unfair challenges, and that is really not fun at all. There are games, Dragon Ball games, that are fun yet challenging enough. Damn it, Xenoverse, I really wanted to love this, but you're falling apart with this combat system you have. The maps are also few and they look quite boring. It is 2016 now and I wanted to have a destructible environment in Dragon Ball games, like total destruction. Not like something that will restore itself after a few minutes. Oh, and another thing, if you are planning to get this game for online matches and you live in Asia, especially Philippines, you will get disappointed. I bought this at launch and yes, after a year I reviewed this game. I saw many people in the game, but I cannot enter any lobby on the parallel quest because my ping is so bad. There are only US and EU servers, and I actually managed to get inside once in an online parallel quest with strangers, but I think I had like 500 to 700 ms ping because everything moves like a slideshow. What the fudge, dude? If you live in Asia, especially Philippines like I mentioned earlier, I said just to stay away from online matches. Here it is really bad. Where are the Japan servers? I heard they are exclusive for Japan players only. Wow. So yeah, those are the games that I do not like about Xenoverse. Finally, let us move on with the great points of the game. Customization, especially character creation, is fine, but they are terribly lacking. I think I saw 1 out of 10 players that exactly look like me in the game. Plus, I hate how they added stats to the buyable costume that your character can wear. I wanted to buy some costumes but I cannot wear it because I'm using the Goku Super Saiyan God costume from the DLC since it has a very high stats. It is really a good feature, but it was not really done well in my honest opinion. The roster is decent. I like most of the unlockable characters in the game that you can play with friends, but why the heck do they add Frieza's henchmen? Seriously, they could have added Zarbon, Dodoria, and other guys, but we got this bunch of useless characters on the roster instead. I also like the different costumes for the characters, even though they are not noticeable since they are costumes depending on the saga, but they do have different stats. What I don't like about it though is that you cannot pick Super Saiyan right off the bat. You have to do it mid-game, which is quite stupid to be honest. Super Saiyan has a time limit here, and I mentioned on the bad points that you have to get skill for charging ki to actually do it. Otherwise you have to fight the enemy to gain ki. Well, add these things together and there is a low possibility an AI would transform into a Super Saiyan given how dumb they are. Yup, I wanted to create what if matches and post it on YouTube, but I can't because they are really stupid. The cutscenes are pretty decent though. The voice acting is average at times, but there are also times that they sound really epic. However, the cutscenes also suddenly pop out of nowhere sometimes in the middle of a campaign. It breaks the momentum when you are in the middle of clash. Everything became so chaotic when it happens. And then suddenly after the cutscene, your enemy has a higher HP than he was when you're fighting him. What? Lastly, they added a mentoring feature in the game where several Z fighters can mentor you, well, one at a time. I really like the concept of that, but it is also quite lacking because they just give you exclusive skills for you to use after doing submissions. They could have added a lot more interactivity for the future. So yeah, those are the great points of the game. Before I give my verdict, I'm going to announce that I will change my type of rating. So yeah, let's move on with the verdict. So story is 7.5 out of 10. I love how it has its own story with new characters and villains. This is the right direction for a Dragon Ball game. It's a breath of fresh air from the series. To be honest, I actually got disappointed at first when playing the game. I didn't see each transformation for each Dragon Ball Z villains like Frieza and Cell, but the story makes sense. They are being controlled by the new villain, so they have to go full power and beyond instantly. I do like the game's story, so it deserves the score. Graphics, 6.5 out of 10. This would be higher if the environments are permanently destructible, and if not, most of them are quite dull to look at. Character designs on the other hand, look great in my honest opinion, and some of the contents look amazing too, but some look really disoriented. Gameplay 5 out of 10. There are good features, but there are also the same amount of bad features here. The gameplay is mediocre at best. I wanted to love the combat system, but I cannot force myself to love it. Why? Well, there are better Dragon Ball games in terms of its combats. The gameplay is repetitive, and some of the side quests are plain boring to play. Online multiplayer is bad if you do not live near the servers, EU and NA. Sounds 7.5 out of 10. The voice acting may be average at times, but there are also times that they sound really good, and the soundtrack and sound effects are amazing here, and I totally love it. Replay value 5.5 out of 10. The customization here is quite lacking in the character creation department, but there are 5 classes and it would be awesome to try them all out. If only the gameplay is fun and the only matches work flawlessly, this could be way higher. So now let's move on with the verdict, and the verdict is a 6.4 out of 10. It is above average and has a lot of potential to be really great. Like I said, this is the right direction for the series and it has done many things right. But they also did some things wrong, especially the combat. It needs to be improved a lot in the second game. So this is my honest review of this game. If you have played it, what do you think of the game? Well, am I going to recommend it? Well, yes, I'm going to recommend it on sale. I'm pretty sure the sales is right 66% when this goes on sale. Get that, because the story itself is worth playing if you're not easily frustrated with the combat system. So yeah, before I end this video, I would like to share you our game store online powered by Games Republic. You can buy Steam games there and they always have a sale. It also helps me create more videos and reviews for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, and share this video, and check out the links in the outro. Bye.